We back in the A.
Man.
ThrowBLKs.
Back to it.
J5. Josh P's in the building.
Man, we here. This is one I've been waiting on.
Yeah, this is
the fans been waiting on it. A lot of people asked about this one. Yeah, it's crazy.
They've been waiting. We've been hyping it. We've been hyping it for me, like in a way that we haven't been hyping this ThrowBLKs in a minute.
Yep.
You heard it already. Jeezy. Was it? Should we say? I'm gonna say Young Jeezy. Now he don't like the young.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was trying to play his music on Alexa, and I was like, Alexa, play Young Jeezy, and it would not. That. Yeah, it was. He's Jeezy.
He's one of the few artists that I know who's gotten like official change throughout his whole discography. Like even his old shit is just Jeezy now on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a completely different thing. MC in the building, of course. What's going on, brother? I'm putting your ass on the hot seat today.
I don't really think it needs to be that energy this early, guys. I honestly don't think so.
You going on the hot seat today?
Out the gate.
I don't think I need to be on the hot seat. I've never spoken bad about this album.
Nah.
I've never, I'm trying to meet you guys eye to eye. We
had an episode of Black Print Radio. We know what you did on the tier list. We know what's up with it. We got it. You on the hot seat today, but we got a special guest that will also grill your ass on the hot seat right now. One of my best friends in this whole entire world. One of my groomsmen for my wedding. One of the smartest dudes that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I've known since I wasn't even 21 when I met this motherfucker. That's how long I've known this motherfucker. But I knew him even earlier than that from fucking message boards and all that stuff.
Okay.
He's a co-host on Recut Gems. My brother, for real. Arthur Willis, A+. I remember, here's the thing about...
Hell of an intro.
Here's the thing about A+, right?
Thank you, my brother.
When he came out here for my wedding last year, he kept telling people, don't call me A+.
Oh, damn. You want to be Arthur now?
I knew that's where we were going because, man, I was like, man, everybody using their names. I don't want to feel like no Mark and use my radio name. Man.
Hey,
my brother, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nicknames everywhere.
Arthur, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Arthur. All right. I'm going to start calling you that now.
I think
No, because Josh, your name Josh. I mean, of course, Josh P's, but still, man, I was like, wait a minute, man. I'm introduced to his mom is A+. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I introduced him as A+, introduced him to my mother-in-law. She was like, oh, hey, A+. He was like, please, call me Arthur. Please, call me Arthur.
I feel that.
The handout is what seals it.
The handout is killing me, man. Oh, my God. Nah, man. It's just personal with my family, man. It's my brother right here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm glad we're finally able to all do this. We're all on the same network, but we very rarely like intersect. We did like one Black Print Radio episode, but those are kind of different. You know what I mean? We got to kind of play songs in, but this is the first time we had like a real conversation, all four of us. So this is a big moment for the channel, for the brand, and I want to B&D to that one. You know what I'm saying? Big B&D for that one. Yes, sir. But we're going back to the early mid. Is it like the late 2000s? It's like late 2000s.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This was late 2000s. I mean, yeah.
08.
Well, yeah.
Because like we've been all over the 2000s in this past like 6 episodes. We've been to 2002, 2003, 2004. We even jumped up to 2011 at one point, but we're back in this spot. And I think this is like a seminal age for all of us. Like 2000s is where we were kind of figuring out who we were as far as like musically and stuff like that.
Becoming a man.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Era.
This is the Obama administration.
Yeah. Recession. We're going to talk all about the recession and how that affected us. I really want to get into that too. Of course, we're going to be talking about Young Jeezy's The Recession. And I really just want to get down to brass tacks of what the fuck we was doing in 2008. I was a junior in college.
I was graduating high school.
Wow. See, I'm old as shit.
Graduating high school in 2008, 08 the great. I was out in LA just running wild. Like I was actually managing Casey Veggies at the time.
Yeah.
I was just a kid just out here. Like I when I think about 2008, I think about Obama just because he was so seminal with that whole period of time.
Yeah.
But then I also just think about like the shenanigans that I got into around that time. Like I remember, I think I told this story before, but when he got elected, I was with my homie in our car.
Oh,
in his car, we drove down Crenshaw and we blew the horn out of his car. Like his horn never worked after that. And then also we had got Popeyes before some nigga shit. Obama got elected. And I remember like we driving down Crenshaw and like it's mad people driving down the street. And my homie had a cup of red beans and rice. and threw it out the car window into these girls that was driving on the side of us, their car, and like hit one of the girls in the face.
Oh my god! Gave her a real drive-by,
bro.
A real drive-through.
So funny.
Insane. A drive-through drive-by is insane.
It's crazy because she like tasted it and then just started screaming.
She said she had to make sure that it was. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be real. She had to make sure it wasn't doo-doo. For real. That's one of niggas' biggest fears. Crazy. Is that not one of niggas' biggest fears? Is you just driving one day and some doo-doo fly in your face?
Nah, but that's a crazy thought. It's a wild thought. That's wild action, man.
Are y'all just getting ready for the pie of? I would expect like a pie, like a custard or something like that flying. But you really afraid of shit like that?
Bird shit, hell yeah, all types of shit.
I'm about to say bird shit.
Yeah.
I've seen someone have bird shit dropped on their head. I've seen her and it fucked her weave up. It happened to me in high school, or it happened to her in high school. Had the whole new install. Bird shit dropped right on it. I said, damn, yo. She had to like literally she had to go home. Yeah, she had to go home.
Damn.
Shit was real. But 2008, I was a junior. I was a super junior. I was a junior for mad long in college. You know, I was a junior for like 2 years.
Oh yeah.
In college. I was like, yeah,
get like that.
I'm taking my time.
I tapped out in 2008. I was like, I'm gonna get a job, man. I tapped out in 2008. I was in Virginia State. I was like, you know what? I'm going to focus on radio, or at least attempt to. And then I worked at the call center for like 2.5 years before I moved.
You was a CDG?
Yeah, CDG.
I was in the call center going crazy, man. The call center era was hilarious.
He was working for the Fraternal Order of Richmond Police.
It was Suncom when it switched to T-Mobile. It was crazy. It was insane.
My mom used to work for Map Mobile. What was it? Was it Map? It was a MapQuest Mobile. It was like Map Mobile before it turned into something else. And she used to work at that call center. She was a manager of that shit. And she was just like, this is the worst place I've ever been to in my life. Like she always come home stressed. But
I felt like I was getting paid to go to high school. That's how I can explain.
That's literally all it is.
Job Corps.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like, damn, bro, we got solicited for mad jobs back in the day. Cutco, telemarketing. I actually went to a Cutco meeting and I snatched that $100.
Oh man,
I'm gonna be real.
I never did it. I knew that was a scam.
I took that $100. I sat this like 2 hours, whatever. He said, so you go home and buy these knives from us for $300, and we sell them back to you. You know?
Crazy pyramid scheme.
Like,
I grew up around too much like Mary Kay and like I just seen all that shit going on. So as soon as that came about, I was like, nah. I'm gonna sell knives too.
What was the one with the workout? It was like a workout shake almost. I can't remember what the shit was called. One of those early pyramid schemes. Oh my god!
It was a Nutrilife.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Nutrilife.
They had a big building out here.
That was one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
They went global.
Yeah.
That shit went crazy.
Like in LA Live. I think I passed it one year.
Yeah,
it was like downtown.
It's up to 405. The Nutrilife building was huge. I don't know if it's still.
That shit might still be around.
I think so. I mean, it might work. Who knows? Selling poop teas. MC, what was you doing? That
and those? You said, what was I doing in 08?
Yeah.
What was I doing in 08? I had just graduated high school and I needed a little bit of money before I was about to go to Florida Atlantic in the fall, but I need a little bit of money, so I started working at Regal.
Oh shit!
I watched Dark Knight. I couldn't even tell you the amount of times I watched Dark Knight, Pineapple Express.
That was an epic movie summer though.
That was a good fucking summer. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Iron Man, it came out that year.
Never seen it.
Mm-hmm. Never seen Iron Man?
Never seen it.
It's actually one of the few Marvel movies I would co-sign.
I've seen Dark Knight, seen Pineapple Express. Never seen Marvel. You know, I don't watch these shits. We talked about this. Yeah,
you don't watch that.
Maybe I'll watch it one day.
Regal, what was that like? What would you see? Because the thing is, this is real. Some nasty shit used to go down in the movies.
I was just about to ask. Well, have you ever seen anybody fucking? That was my first question.
I was about to say, food-wise, I haven't seen anything nasty. People-wise, there's plenty of nastiness going down.
Oh my god!
Have you ever caught anyone getting head?
I can imagine the matinees like the nastiest though.
Caught anyone getting head? No, but I heard of many different stories. Right? They used to say right up where the projector? Not the booths, yes, but where the projectors were, yes. We used to have like the word around town was there used to be a back room up there.
Wow.
And that's where shit used to go. I never saw the back room because, I'm nice and holy.
Listen, man.
Never cleaned it.
The best spot to go to is all the way in the back to the right. You know what I'm saying? It's the darkest part.
I don't think I never did. Well, I probably got like a hand job or something in the movie.
HJ was normal in the theaters.
But I ain't never got like head or nothing like that. I wish.
Come on, man. Don't make me expose my darkest secrets on the Young Jeezy episode.
The Recession.
Of ThrowBLKs. I'll save it for B-sides.
This is really B-sides-esque.
I know. We're starting off very...
You know what happens? Is you get the four of us in a room, and we just go. That's literally all it is. We just... It's 10 minutes in. We just fucking going. I'm throwing the host rule book out the fucking window right now. But let's go all the way the fuck back to 2004. Young Jeezy blazing into the hip-hop scene. I want to know when the first time you guys heard Trap or Die. Because I remember hearing it after I saw him on Smack DVD. And that's after that I said, I got to find this guy.
Yeah, I think I might have heard it before the Smack DVD, but I downloaded it. It was like, I don't know what site. Somebody was just like, this the hottest shit in the South type shit. But I found it online. And I remember listening to it and being like, oh shit, like DJ Drama, like hearing his voice and being like, oh, this is... Like, at the time, mixtapes were very much a up north New York thing. Yeah. So to hear Jeezy and Drama and just that flavor, it was like, oh, this is refreshing as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was all in from there. Like, I was looking for the Smack DVDs, and then he did the shit with Fab. Yeah. It was just like, that's when everything, the dots started connecting.
Fab put him on the From Nothing to Something album. And I think that was also like, he put Do the Damn Thing on there, and Do the Damn Thing also.
But that was, that was out.
Yeah, I'm about to say Real Talk.
That was on, that was on Real Talk.
Oh, it's Real Talk. I'm sorry, I'm bugging.
But that shit was out on a DV, like a mixtape. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like this nigga really. That was one thing about Jeezy too. It started in the South and it very much felt like some South shit, but then he connected with all the right people up north.
He knew how to get that attention on his brand, and he had the right people kind of fueling his career also behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is way more sinister. A+, when was the first time you heard Trap or Die?
The first time I heard Trap or Die is probably like Josh. I was probably downloaded from some website, but the first time I heard Jeezy was like a few months back. Over here used to come on those radio mix shows on the weekend.
BET
and then I saw, and then Rap City or BET Uncut played the video. I was like, oh, that's the Over Here dude with Bun B. And at the end of the video is like a 60-second clip of Air Forces. And I was sold. It was like, it was real criminals in that video, man. Like, you got BMF dudes on the left and right of them. I was sold. I was like, I believe this guy off top. So
I'll be real. I feel like that ending. After that. I feel like that ending to that video was kind of like you know how niggas had the DMX "Get at Me Dog" moment with that video. I feel like that was my moment. Like that was the moment for me where I was like, yo, this is like, they had the car. I don't even remember what cars they were. I just know that he was sitting on a car and they all had long ass t-shirts on or Air Forces. And that's all I remember from that shit. When did you first hear Trap or Die, MC?
I want to say it was after, because I definitely knew that he was on Real Talk, but I ended up having a high interest in Jeezy after Boys in the Hood came out. When Boys in the Hood came out,
so a little later.
Was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty big for us in our freshman year. So that was like, I want to say like spring of 2005, and around that time, Box Den, they had their little Southern section.
Yeah,
they were still calling him Young Jeezy. He had 2 Z's in his name.
Classic internet name for him. Classic internet.
Big Young Jeezy, and Trap or Die was out there, and this was still the Southern section in Box Den was kind of like shuffling a good amount of Gangsta Grills at that time, because Drama was really popping in like around that summer 2005 time. So when that happened, I heard Trap or Die, and when I heard Get Your Mind Right, I was like, holy shit. I mean, that was the mind melter for me at that time.
Be clear, the first 3 songs of Trap or Die are impregnable. Like, you can't top that on a mixtape. You had the intro, which at the time is not something you had really ever heard from the South at that point. It had the samples in it. Then you get the Trap or Die, and Drama brings that shit back 3 times. Man. I think everybody knows last time I checked, I was a man in these streets, because you couldn't get through that song. Like low-key almost feel like that version of the song is better than the actual high-quality version.
No, that's a great point. And it's funny, like, you know, I'm glad someone brought up like the BMF connection, because like BMF was heavy in LA at the time. So that was what you were hearing out of cars. Okay. And like, if you were just around people who were in the streets, everybody was playing that shit. And, you know, it's a testament to now you hear like even fucking Kendrick's album, Good Kid, Mad City, and that line is quoted on there. Yeah. Because that was just a line that niggas who was in the streets just related to so much.
Everybody, like, come on. That first literal 8 bars, he brought it back 6, 7 times. Hey, we exaggerate every time he brings it back. And then you get to Get Your Mind Right after that. This is the first 3 songs. Like, how do you fucking top that? Like, you couldn't. Like, Trap or Die took over Virginia in a major way that summer. And we were waiting. We would have to wait for almost a year, nearly about, I think like 9 months to a year before we would actually get Trap or Die. But as Mark said, Jeezy joins Boys in the Hood. Real weird situation there, right? Like Diddy says he's the leader. Niggas and Boys in the Hood are like, wait, he ain't the goddamn leader. Like Big Duke was like, nah, he not the leader of this group. It was weird energy.
Big G wasn't digging it?
It was always
Big G, the edge hanger wasn't feeling that.
Nah.
It was always like tension in that group from the jump. And it's funny, like, you know, you had a lot of people who were betting on I'm blanking.
Jody Breeze.
Jody Breeze. Where is Jody Breeze now, man? Because he was supposed to be the one. He was the Jewels to his Cam. Yeah. And you know, at the time it was like, I remember like the the Source magazine articles and even Block Entertainment and that being a thing and Young Jock coming before.
Gorilla
like,
Zoe.
Like it was just like, damn, okay, like this is about to be the next big label out of the South. This is Block Entertainment was a QC before QC.
That is true. That is true.
What up, Block? I wonder where you at now in life.
And then Block was every song. He would always do that weird ass sound on every song. Like what
Classic
was that? but like to continue the weirdness of that, even the Boys in the Hood album at that time, it felt. I'm not gonna say Jeezy was doing it on purpose, but it felt like he was just bigger than all of them anyway. Like you kind of listen to the songs just for his verse.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you had records like So Icy and shit before that, so Jeezy was already damn near a household name. And I think he might have been the last addition to the group. And then remember they replaced him at one point too
with Rick Ross.
With Rick Ross. So it's like it was always Jeezy's star was always larger than that group.
Yeah. But who would have thought? Like, what do you think was the reasoning behind Jeezy needing to be in that group in the first place?
Oh, I think it was just more like Jeezy's very much he built himself off his network.
Yeah.
And I think it was just expanding his network, you know, linking up with Diddy. It was an opportunity to kind of have that more northern attention on him.
Yeah.
I think at the time, he had the Def Jam deal and the Bad Boy deal at the same time.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Which is crazy to think about because it's like, what rapper from the South had two East Coast labels co-signing him that early in his career?
Exactly, and he had undergone a huge bidding war at that time. I remember Interscope was in the running.
Yep.
Warner was in the running. I think they were starting to build Asylum at the time.
Atlantic
was in the running, and he ended up being Jazzy Faye's manager. Passed the demo to Shakir Stewart. Shakir Stewart met up with Jeezy, and I guess their relationship just became larger than life in itself. And Jeezy said, I'd rather, work with Def Jam, and the rest is history from there.
Def Jam South. And that was the time, I believe Scarface was the CEO at the time when they signed Jeezy too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I think he'd leave a little bit after that.
Okay.
Because he said that I remember him saying like that shit was hard.
I was gonna say
had no
like
joy doing that.
I'm not sure what type of CEO Scarface was besides being a face. Like I could see him in the office like making plays.
Yeah.
But that was a great time for Def Jam.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like when you break it all down, like it was a perfect storm for Jeezy to come out the gate and have such a huge debut like he did with Thug Motivation 101. And that was the major project being Trap or Die, then leading into he had a bunch of feature records as well. He was like the biggest street rapper.
Merch was going crazy. You couldn't escape a Snowman t-shirt.
Who bought one?
Oh, I had one. Man, I had a Snowman.
It felt like 50 for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I had a Snowman poster on my wall.
Yeah.
In my room. Blue background, Snowman. That's all it said, honestly. It didn't even say his name, I don't think.
Because it became like the Batman logo. I remember hearing in an old marketing class I had in college, they said the old Batman movie from 1989, it was sold just on the logo. And that's what made people say it didn't have no names on it.
Yep, I remember
just
that.
the logo. And I feel like Jeezy had that same marketing energy where it's just literally just a logo.
Yeah.
And I can't remember anyone ever having that before him because he had the chain and it was a t-shirt. Everybody wanted that Snowman chain. That shit was like white diamonds. I think he switched up the eyes. One time the eyes had black diamonds. The other time the eyes had blue diamonds.
Blue diamonds, yeah.
Fucking amazing. Like he just knew. You know what I mean? He just knew.
Master marketer.
He's a master marketer. And I think that's what kind of leads us into, where we get to into Thug Motivation. So we got a lot of big names, heavy hitters at that point. Lil Wayne dropped the Carter 2 at this point. T.I. was kind of rising up. He'd be like a year away, I believe, from Urban Legend. And Young Jeezy was kind of the first one to get out there after a long wait and a huge leaked record. Did you guys ever hear the Thug Motivation 101 Advance? They had the weird intro.
I don't remember that one.
It had bounced through the club my Crip flag instead of black flag on.
I do remember that though. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, it had a weird instrumental. It had no beat. It was like a weird instrumental thing, and I was like, I felt like he was trying to go for like a 70s vibe because it sounded like it was from was
it like some Scarface shit?
Some soulful shit.
It was soulful. It was like from the Mac. It almost sounded like it was from the Mac. I wish I could find this advance.
I'm gonna find it.
It had almost every single song from the actual album that we hear, but he added like Don't Get Caught. It had Soul Survivor up there too. Like all of those records were on the advance, and it somehow leaked out. I guess it was supposed to go to DJs or something at first, and someone had put it out on the internet. So we had it for a minute. It just wasn't in high quality. But when we got the high quality version, it had that intro on it, the Thug Motivation 101 intro on it. Classic. I think we've agreed that's his S tier. That's his top best album of all time.
Absolutely.
Like that was the big album for him. It sold 172,000 records in his first week. What would that be today in today's standards? Like 80, 85?
No, I mean shit. That was like that was a number one debut when it came out.
It was his first number one.
It's like a 250.
I mean,
inflation.
Adjusted for inflation, right?
Yeah. I think for real, like the way sales were back then, 50 was still pushing the sales thing. He's still in the middle of like telling Jadakiss and Fat Joe they won't sell.
That's what I'm saying. Like 172 was damn good at that time.
For him, he's a new artist.
Selling shit.
New artist.
He's a brand new artist from the South, and then coming out with a brand new sound. And TM101 sound, which was primarily created by Shorty Red, who did like a bulk of that album. It was like widely considered like the sound of trap music. Like that's what trap music sounded like in the 2000s. It was very loud bass, 808s, really discordant like keys. Like I have no clue where some of the sound packs these dudes had back in the day.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Shorty Red, definitely a pioneer of that era. D Rich came and killed it on the Recession and subsequent albums. That music was made for 212s in your trunk.
Yeah, that's
what it was made for. Like I remember that at that time, everybody was like, "Oh, what kind of beats you putting in your car?"
Yeah,
and Jeezy made albums for that moment.
Yeah,
so that's another thing about his music. Like I could just hear the bass rattling and like the license plate hitting the car. Like that's what I think about when I think of his music.
Well, I mean, I can't even downplay how major of a moment TM101 was in Richmond. Probably even crazier out there. I mean, y'all was like Atlanta Part 2, at least back in that day.
I was interning the summer of 2005 at the station. So it was like, that's when I first got my job officially in August of that year. Yeah. And he came up to the station, right? So this is like my very first moment of realizing, people are shorter than they are on TV. He came to the front door and he's like, maybe 5'8", 9-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
So he comes upstairs. At that time on the night show that I was interning on, it was kind of like a standard set where you would freestyle, right? Even if you're going to do like a written verse, they throw an instrumental on, you do your thing. The instrumental happened to be Get Crunk, Lil Jon. And of course,
wow.
At this point, he'd already dropped the straight drop freestyle, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fourth mic. He's on like the third mic looking at Big Nat. And DJ Foot is in the DJ booth. And he starts doing the verse. It's your boy Snowman, CTE representative. And I'm under my breath being like a fake young Chris, like doing ad-libs. And he cuts his eyes at me like this. And I shut the fuck up immediately. Like,
oh, shit.
I'm like, okay, I get the message. Like, yeah, you're going to do this like it's an actual freestyle right now. But yes, yeah. Just to say the least, like he sold out whatever. I think he was at like the Altria, the Landmark Theater that night.
Yeah.
Sold it out. It was crazy packed. Like Jeezy was already on top by the summer of 2005 in Richmond.
Jesus Christ. Imagine getting looked at like that by 2005 Jeezy.
You gotta find it. I gotta find that video.
like bro, 2005 Jeezy, we thought he was literally killing niggas at that point. Like, we thought 2005 Jeezy was Scarface for sure.
I was scared straight. I shut up completely.
But he was close. The funny thing is like right after TM101, he drops Can't Ban the Snowman. And that's like literally like that fall, I think. I want to say, like, because I just got into college. I think it was like October or something. I'm like, damn. I think he was like one of the first people that kind of had that work ethic where he was always dropping something, in between his albums. And then Can't Ban the Snowman. I want to say this, like, I think it's like 1A, 1B. Like Can't Ban the Snowman to me is like still a number one mixtape of his. I wouldn't argue if you said it was your favorite one, to be honest with you, because like I feel like he's rapping over fucking verbal intercourse, you know what I'm saying?
Going crazy on that one.
Like rapping over You Can't Stop These Gangsters. Like come on, man. Like that's one of my favorite like freestyles of all time. he was really loving the 3-6 shit at that time too. Like he was a big fan of their actually no, that was 06 that came out. Snowman came out because that was after Most Known Unknown. Yeah, it was Most Known Unknown. So again, he never stopped working, and then it leads us into, I mean, just him becoming just a household name, as Josh said. Like he was really on equal footing with like your T.I.s, your Lil Waynes. He was standing next to Ghostface Killah. Yeah, Jay-Z at that time, like first album out. What do you think that meant for like street music at that time? Because even 50 Cent wasn't doing that. Like they all hated that nigga.
Well, that's the thing about him is that he played the game.
Yeah,
he built his network. He was in the rooms with the right people. Had songs with Kanye.
Yeah,
was just really and that's another thing about the Def Jam affiliation. He really maximized it to all it could be. Like I think he had Jay-Z on like every one of his albums at one point.
Because he ended up picking Def Jam, and it was kind of a gambit that ended up being advantageous to him because Jay-Z becomes president that next year.
Yeah.
And then it's like he meets Jay-Z, and Jay-Z sees something in him. Like Jay-Z sees himself in Young Jeezy, and you know that becomes Jay-Z kind of taking the T.I.s, the Young Jeezys, I mean to some extent Lil Wayne under his wing at that point.
Yeah.
Like it became like a respect thing, and then we get into 2006. TM 102. We've had a conversation about this. If you haven't heard it, go ahead to Black Print Radio.
The Inspiration.
I got hustle. One of the worst ending songs. I got hustle.
Jeezy's hilarious to me because like he always had this very like motivational, like aspirational flair to him.
Yeah.
Like where other rappers are like, I'm not a role model. Like Jeezy very much is a role model.
Yeah.
Or wants to be at least.
He's like Tony Robbins.
Yeah. He
rap.
And he just called himself Tony Robbins, seriously.
And he really wanted to be taken serious as a rapper, where I think other trap rappers were like, oh, I'm doing this for the money, or oh, I'm doing this to be the king. He was like, I'm doing this to be taken serious.
And I noticed the switch almost immediately. Like after TM 101, it's I'm not a rapper.
Yeah.
TM 101 is I'm not a rapper, dog. I motivate street niggas. That was his thing. TM 102, it's like, yeah, I'm making hits, man. I want to be taken serious. I'm still motivating the thugs, but I want to have hits. I want to be taken serious. TM 102 sells 352,000 records in its first week.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. Still to this day, his highest selling first week.
You want to know what propelled that album?
Come on,
it was not Go Getter, bro.
It was. Come on, bro.
Go Getter, bro.
R. Kelly was on fire.
I love it was major.
Go Getter, bro. It wasn't. It was.
I love it though. Was there?
I love it was the one.
It was major. Yeah.
Go Getter was a record though. Come on, you can't. That shit was going. It was going crazy in the clubs.
You know the funniest club was you even allowed in, bro?
I just know. I know. At that time, I was in the clubs.
Young Jeezy and your boy
07, you were in the clubs?
Yes. Yes, I started going to clubs like 06, 07. I had friends that owned the club.
I was in the clubs early too. It was in the clubs. It was Go Getter was a moment in the club. It was.
I'm telling you,
shot in the club too.
Yeah.
Wasn't somebody on a motorcycle in that video?
I think it might have been Jeezy on the motorcycle.
Go Getter. Like, what sure. Even I was kind of like, what are you doing, man? Like, what is this, man? What is this? What is this? But even as you know, Jeezy was experiencing great heights in his career. America was going through somewhat of kind of like a silent killer of the economy at the time. A period of really a real general decline began in 2007. Shortly after TM 102 came out, we started from really a lot of events that was going on in really the housing market, the economy, Wall Street, a lot of crazy stuff. There's a movie that's really good called The Big Short that talks all about this. Really, really good movie that kind of breaks down the recession of that era. But 2007 started the era of the Great Depression in our age. And you just think about it, like we've lived through a lot of shit. We lived through 9/11. We lived through a recession. We lived through all types of we lived through a fucking pandemic. The recession to me was one of those moments. Not the album, the actual fucking thing. One of those moments where it hit everybody hard. I just graduated at kind of the peak of that shit, where nobody could find jobs. Houses, the housing market was crazy. My mom ended up buying a house in that moment, her and my stepdad, and they ended up losing money getting that house because of just how the housing market was and those subprime loans and all that shit. Like the shit was crazy at that time.
Nah, I mean Jeezy said it best. Ain't no work, ain't no jobs. Like I remember being like, yo, that was like the reality check of like, oh, I'm an adult and ain't shit out here.
Yeah.
We gotta figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And it was just like a somber time, and everyone went through it together, similar to the pandemic.
Right.
So it was just interesting to just see people's reaction, and even someone like Young Jeezy, who absolutely wasn't feeling the effects of the recession, had to make a record about what it was.
Well, he's got one line about buying a Lamborghini or his mom's kidney, so
Oh yeah, that was about the auntie or something.
The auntie, the aunt's kidney. Somebody calls him out for that line in one of the reviews I was reading today. And it was like, so I'm like, just because he's rich, he can't like think about getting one thing over the other. Like, I feel like the reviews for the Recession were very much kind of like very white. I feel like if the album came out today, you're probably getting a lot different reviews than you got back then. Like this album actually reviewed very badly.
That's interesting.
It was
crazy.
It was reviewed terribly. Rolling Stone, all the major publications were not feeling the recession. But I mean, the people weren't feeling the actual recession that was going on. And they pointed their fingers at George Bush. I mean, Young Jeezy says in an interview with MTV, I got to shout out to MTV. Shaheem Reed's articles as well. The fact that they keep these archives up of these old articles, they might not have the videos anymore and the pictures. These old articles have been a savior to me for these fucking episodes because they keep all of those joints up there.
Man, shout out to Shaheem Reed.
He did an article on the listening party and all the people that showed up for the Recession listening party. I was like, man, remember when people had listening party reviews?
That's crazy. That's a lost time.
Like nobody even does anymore. How are listening parties done? It's like playbacks now, huh?
Playbacks and they'll do a party. There's more release parties than listening parties, I think, at this point. And even the release parties are just like a club date.
Yeah.
Shit don't feel like how I used to feel.
It's just be them in the club listening. Can't even reach them. Used to be real intimate. Like I remember the first listening party I ever went to was here. I went to the By Dom Kennedy listening party.
Yeah, like the blogger listening parties were special. Yeah, that shit just doesn't happen anymore.
It was just in a building. You go to the top of the building. People were just kicking it. Dom was like going around. It was when I first met Archie there, and I got introduced to him through one of my friends who invited me there, and it was just cool to have like that intimate kind of like conversation with people and stuff. Oh, he was like, "You fuck with the album?" I was like, "Yeah, I fuck with the album, but I need a job." I was like, "Can I come pick your brain, my nigga?" And it was a cool moment. But he says, as President Bush, he'll tell you we're in a recession. We got to be we the people on this one. I said, "All right, Jeezy." He said, "I'm leaning." He said another quote he said was, "I like Sarah Palin. I like the soccer mom thing and all that. But what about McConnell? What if he dies? Then, or not McConnell, McCain. What if he? Well, I mean, that nigga about to die too. But McCain, what if he died? Then what?" I was like, that's the long and short of it. That's why he was leaning towards Obama at that point. He said, "I like Obama and Joe for those reasons," and he really started pushing it. And I think we talked about the vote or die thing in a previous episode, the Green Day episode. Mm-hmm. This is like kind of like the black side of it, where it was like, okay, we fucked up before. I feel as though people were kind of apprehensive to ride with Diddy on the Obama train this time.
Well, I think they were just apprehensive to ride with Diddy on another campaign.
He's taking money from him.
Yeah, Diddy shit was very self-serving. But I don't know. I feel like around just my area and just people I spoke to, like Obama was it. Like people were excited to vote for Obama and excited that he was running. And it felt like a moment. Like I knew when Obama said he was running, I knew he won.
Yeah.
That's how I felt around my way.
Yeah. I mean, the lines, y'all. The lines. There were people that were waiting in the poll lines from midnight all the way till they opened in Virginia to vote for Obama. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. Didn't he like landslide that one in 2008?
Yeah, I think so. Virginia for sure. I never forget that day.
Yeah, like he flipped Virginia blue. I think he flipped Virginia blue twice.
He did.
Like it had never happened before. You know what I'm saying? So like it was definitely a watershed moment for all of us, and to have somebody who again was kind of like the street rapper that we just thought of him as a trap rapper at that time was really standing beside Obama, and he was one of the first people that embraced him. And strangely enough, Obama didn't embrace Kanye back. He embraced Young Jeezy back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which was the craziest part about it, and I think led to Kanye's kind of spiral later on in his career.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it led to it, but no, that definitely symbolized something, and I think it like I said, Jeezy was always about his network, and he stood next to the right people and when he stood next to those people, he made it beneficial for him.
Right.
And Obama was one of those situations.
So My President came out, I think it came out a little bit before the album, but what I want to do, I want to talk about the actual the Recession as an album before we kind of dive into the actual songs and we break them down track by track. The album was buoyed by the Kanye West featured Put On, which peaked at number 13 on the Hot 100, which is huge for a rap record, especially like a street record like that at the time.
Yeah.
And sold over 3 million copies. There were a lot of, I think, milestones for that record, but there was a lot of important things that people kind of don't remember about that record. One of them being the Kanye factor, and that being Kanye had taken a break for a year from music after his mom passed away. This was like one of the, if not the first song he did after his mother passed away, and people wanted to know what he was going to say.
Yeah.
Remember Summer Jam that year when he came out with that purple varsity, the Aqua 8s on, and the red pants, and he did that verse. Jeezy, well, let's just be clear, Jeezy at Summer Jam in Atlanta every single year.
Always, bash,
yeah.
It was his show every single year. I think he had a run every single year that he shut that shit down. The Kanye year was special though, because it was no one had seen this motherfucker. I wonder if there's still video of that. MC, you think you could find and see if there's a video of that Summer Jam?
I think so.
I think it was like 08.
I would assume if there's still video going around of when Kanye battled Swiss Beats at Summer Jam, I would assume that there's still Kanye footage of him doing Put On at Summer Jam. I'll take a look.
Wait, the ATL Summer Jam. That's not what they call it, right?
Birthday bash.
Birthday bash. I'm bugging.
Oh, you're talking about he did that birthday bash?
Yeah, he did that birthday bash. I'm bugging. It was Birthday Bash. When he came out and did Put On a Birthday Bash, that was the first time he come out and did the song straight up. But his verse to me on that song, and I know we're like, I will just talk about the song now. We can skip it when we go track by track later. That was one of my favorite Kanye West verses of all time. Like, that was like heartbreaking, real, but also kind of like let you in on where his mental was at that time. And even the lead into it, I like that Jeezy just kind of left them. Yeah. Just let him do his thing.
I mean, it's Kanye West, so it's like at that time, you're like, oh, if you gonna get on my record, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, if people remember, that was like one of the first Kanye auto-tune records too. That was like that was the beginning of auto-tune Kanye, and like,
right?
Yep. And it kind of it landed on the ears a little like, oh, what's this?
What is this?
Yeah. But then it's like he got into it, and you're like, oh shit, like this is probably one of his most heartfelt verses.
It was like the coldness of that kind of robotic voice at the time. But I think even bigger than that, the Kanye West Jeezy relationship, right? He took I Get Money from Inspiration, mixed the ad libs on Can't Tell Me Nothing, puts Jeezy on Can't Tell Me Nothing. All of this happens, and then full circle comes back around, and the favor is repaid from 2 years, 3 years prior to that, which again, Put On to me is just such a seminal Jeezy record for a lot of reasons, but it's such a seminal Kanye West record as well, where you talk about his discography and all his singles, and you got to put on there. Like, this is one of the best songs he's ever been on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say it's a serious Kanye verse, but even in a serious Kanye verse, you still get an unserious line like that one of Russell's Nieces line. Like, even in the most serious moment, he still has an unserious line like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my! But then also radio played that full 5-minute song back in the day.
We played it out
every single time. Full 5-minute song. I remember at that time, I believe I was about to intern, or I was interning at the time, I think, at the station. And that was like number one every single week. It was always playing. Was that big out here too?
Yeah, no, that song was huge. That song was a moment. Like, it was nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah.
Like, that was absolutely, like you said, it was Kanye's return. It was Jeezy, like, it was not Jeezy's return, but just continuing on what Jeezy had been doing. He had already been a radio stalwart.
Yeah.
And that shit was just a perfect storm.
Call me Jeezy Hamilton. Riding down Campbellton. So fresh, so clean. On my way to Charlene. We're going to talk about his Anthony Hamilton obsession on this album.
I love it.
Great song.
Great song. We never knew he loved Anthony Hamilton as much as we did until we listened to this album. But production on the Recession. Great producers on this record. Yeah. Some new guys, some guys that he's been working with for a while.
I mean, Put On was Drummer Boy. Which is crazy because Drummer Boy's worked with a lot of artists in the South. But some of his best records are with
Jeezy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Drummer Boy on the record. DJ Toomp, which was somebody that he kind of grabbed onto from Inspiration. He did I Get Money from that record, which then led into Can't Tell Me Nothing. He continues his run here on Jeezy's album, does the intro, which one of the best 808 drums in the game. So crisp every single time.
Yeah, like That was one thing. Jeezy brought together the best of producers. And this is another testament to his network. Because when you think about Toomp, you think about him being a T.I. guy.
Yeah.
And Jeezy went and reached across that aisle and was like, "Hey, I need you."
Yeah. I'm a Jeezy guy now. So and that's really what it became. Because I mean, then from there, Toomp has a Jay-Z record later after that. It's like Toomp for somebody who at the time was like in his late 30s, early 40s, he was like a hot in demand like producer at that time, and I loved it because I love all of Toomp's beats. Like he's great, but also The Incredibles from Virginia, I believe. Don Cannon, yeah, they're from Virginia. Justice League also on there. The Business. He had everybody on this fucking record doing their fucking thing. Sold over 260,000 copies its first week. I mean, it was a recession. Niggas ain't had no money to buy a $20 record. FYE at the time. Did you guys know it just went platinum in 2020?
Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
That is crazy. It was installed like at like 750, 800 forever probably.
That's what I'm saying. That's so interesting.
It dropped off 60K its third week. It actually had a heavy drop off. It was like 90K second week, 60K third week, and then from there it kind of petered off. Again, looking back at this album in hindsight, it other than Put On, it didn't really spawn a lot of hits either. It was very, even when you listen to it today, it's like, yeah, I could see where he was going with Vacation, but that's not like a Jeezy hit. It's not a hit record, and you could see why it didn't catch on and why that didn't happen. Did you ever like come across Vacation at the time, and did it blow up or not blow up? But what was your thoughts on records like that?
Vacation was definitely like targeted to be a single at first. I remember the video rollout and all of that, but you're right, it never caught on. So that wasn't like a viable second single. So what was it? There was another single though after Put On.
It was Crazy World and then My President.
Crazy
World. Yeah, you're right.
That's it. Yeah.
But My President was like the real second single to me. That was the one they felt like they pumped the money into. Yeah. And I mean, obviously when Obama got elected, it was like, we got to ride this train on out.
Yeah. Right. But it is beautiful irony though, for it to go platinum in 2020. That really does tell you a message. It really does tell you a story.
Yeah. Even though our president wasn't black at that point, but let's get into the album proper here. The Recession intro, produced by DJ Toomp, opens with some. When you hear this, you're like, "Oh, Jeezy's really serious."
Serious album. That's another reason why I'm not surprised at why it took so long to go platinum. Mm-hmm. It's very much the serious Jeezy album.
Yeah, because the thing is with the reviews is that they're like, he's still saying the same shit. I'm like, really? For like maybe 25% of the album, he's saying the same shit, but most of it, he's talking about something. Like he's talking about real life shit. And on this project, he really opens up the album saying, this is what this shit's going to be about. Mm-hmm. If you're listening, this is what it is. I think that like it worked for me here. And especially like going back and listening to it for the past 2-3 weeks, I'm like, this shit works. Like he's really fucking rapping. And to Plus's point, he said, I want to be taken serious as a rapper. And then he did it on this intro. What do you guys rank this intro in terms of Young Jeezy albums?
I think it's right behind the 101 intro, in my opinion. I can't think of something that's like right behind that as far as in this album catalog. But what I was about to say about the album really in short was that, remember, at once upon a time, a big thing in hip hop was quote unquote concept albums, right? Yeah. And with Jeezy being a rapper, not really considered like a rapper's rapper, only the rappers tackled the concept albums. So for Jeezy to really, grasp that concept and then bring it home with a great album front to back, that kind of was another notch under his belt as well. So I enjoyed that win for Jeezy at the time too.
Yeah, I mean, you had Jay-Z turn it into a drug dealer again.
American Gangster.
You had Nas doing a eulogy for hip hop. You had a lot of stuff going on.
That was definitely the concept album era, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that was something that's prevalent throughout the album. And there's, we'll talk about it later in a few songs.
Yeah. Right.
But he definitely was going for the concept records.
Yeah, for sure. One of the verses there, one of the lines here, God bless America, never been to Colombia, so I'm gonna need one of you just to get the word to Colombia. He was still like, I'm like, all right, man.
That's the 05 Jeezy line though. That's when that line could have been on 101,
They say, young, won't you make it rain? Bitches, you insane. When by once a month, them numbers be insane in the membrane. Come on, man.
He said, recession. Can't make it rain no more.
People was calling cap on this, man. I'm pretty sure, like, the way Jeezy is now about like owning property, I can absolutely believe he was not doing that shit back then.
Jeezy's definitely one of them, like, very smart with his money, damn near frugal types. So I can see it.
Absolutely. No, and again, the album sets you up perfectly. And you're like, okay, this is serious shit. And then he says, "Wait a minute, I gotta serve my base. I gotta serve my fan base here. Welcome back." I feel like this album kind of has 2 intros in one.
Oh, I was gonna mention that. Welcome Back was like the intro.
For them niggas.
That was yeah, exactly. That was the intro for the Trap or Die fans.
Yeah. Then it opens up with the voicemail. Mark, how you feeling about this with the whip test?
I think I messaged this about a couple of hours ago. This might be, and most of this album I haven't heard in at least 15 years. This might be Hall of Fame. I try not to do Mount Rushmore, but as far as like whip test Hall of Fame, this is from the intro to the ending. Mm-hmm. If you have a good enough speaker system, your shit probably is going to shatter through at least a couple of these records.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny that you haven't listened to this in so long, because I listen to this like at least every couple months. This is like really one of my favorite Jeezy albums.
Yeah.
And I can't listen to it without turning it all the way up on volume. It's driving.
It's some of the best beats he's ever had. Like, and I'll stand on this. I say top 3, regardless of album, regardless of tape, some of his best beats. Like he really tasked these producers to not just give him just a loop, but really give him like songs that he could actually like create to. And I feel like Welcome Back is like this. Guess who's back and he's shining on you niggas. Guess who's back and he's stunting on you hoes. You hear that in the club and you just, hey man, you gotta put your arm up, man. That was a club record. What were some of y'all favorite lines from this record? Like I mean, there's guess what? I don't give a fuck. He's I mean that's how he starts it. I mean everybody knows that.
The DJ, you could just turn that down. The whole crowd says that.
But I mean again, that's the strip club quality of it too. I mean, you could still play a lot of these records from this album in the strip club. I'm pretty sure they was playing Put On in the strip club too.
Probably.
Get a lot.
Get a lot. Yeah, that was another record they was probably doing here. They said, okay, here we go again. Street said it's necessary. Start talking blow again. Like, damn, nigga, but you just told us that it's too expensive for you to get the key.
But that's the thing, man. The Inspiration was one of those albums where it was like he kind of toned it down a little bit.
He did.
I think he just heard the criticism, so he had to come back to the base.
Because I think that, and again, his numbering system was weird. We had always thought that TM103 was coming next. And I think that was the rumor. It was TM103's next. You know, he's just going to give us some more of whatever we wanted. I don't think people got to realize, and if you don't realize, you got to realize it here. We weren't expecting this turn from him. Like like he out of nowhere one day said, "It's really fucked up out here."
Concept album.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, like he was like, I got to talk about this shit, and there weren't many people like, you're not getting this from Lil Wayne. I mean, the closest we got at that point was Georgia Bush. He said, I gave you one, and I'm gonna give you Shooter, and I'm gonna give you Tie My Hands, and then that's all I'm gonna give you niggas. I'm not talking about nothing until classic song How to Love. You know what I mean? 2011.
Oh my gosh.
He gave us How to Love. But Welcome Back opens up the album. I feel like it's 3 intros to this shit. There's 3.
By the way, it's one of them ones.
By the way, is one of them ones, man.
By the way, will knock your license plate off your car.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
For those ones. Right.
That 808 is crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. What you say, young? The boy might go nuts. Holes in niggas just like donuts. My cream be crispy. These niggas can't get me. Must be the wrong size because these niggas can't fit me. Come on.
But that was him being like, I got bars. That was very much Jeezy. I got bars.
Like, I remember in college, people would be upset because I would be like, I'm listening to Young Jeezy over Lupe Fiasco.
Right. That's a funny comparison.
I'm listening. What do you mean?
They tried to put A+ knows. A+ knows. A+ knows at VCU there was a contingent, which is strange because of the city we were in. In VCU, there was a contingent of niggas who just loved underground hip hop shit.
I think that was just the sign of the times. Everybody was trying to get on their backpack shit, but like the skateboard backpack.
Like Little Brother. I'm like, I'm listening to Jeezy over all that. And they hated it. They hated me for that shit.
That's funny. That's really funny.
They really, I was like, I'll be in y'all student hip hop organization, but y'all got to play some, yeah, I'm saying names. I'm saying names. Fuck it.
Actually, it's funny. I'm not gonna go there.
That's so classic, man. Wow,
that's hilarious. You probably know who was the president of it.
I know
Josh.
You're talking about.
I know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. Motherfucker hated me.
Shout out to him, man.
He hated me. We ended up squashing it later, but the motherfucker hated me in college. Okay.
Time has served you well. You're on the right side of history, at least.
Hey, you know where I'm at.
Is he? Lupe was cool, man. Lupe first. We might get to Lupe at ThrowBLKs at some point.
Which one?
We can go to the first album.
Liquor bootleg is classic.
Yeah, man.
The shit that pissed him off when it leaked. Oh man,
I thought
that boy was red hot when it leaked.
Yeah, Lupe first 3 albums pretty damn good.
He was fucking with Gotta Eat.
Oh yeah, I mean,
God, he's a whoa! Is that
he got some records. This is very much.
This nigga was rapping over the "Hey Dude" instrumental, my nigga.
This is very much an aside, but his first 3 records are great.
Niggas gotta eat. That's when shit get greasy.
He be like, "Feed me."
Yeah, even
listen.
The metaphors of that is what Jeezy was trying to do on What They Want. Honestly,
he was like, "Man, I could do this shit."
That's what Jeezy was trying to get at.
Listen, man, dumb it down. The amount of dissertations nigga had to dumb it down. I'm like, listen, can I just listen to the goddamn song, bro? We don't gotta have an essay for dumb it down, bro. Y'all act like this is, he created fucking water or some shit, man.
Somebody wrote like 5 paragraphs on the windshield. Remember that? Oh my god.
Yeah, come on. I'm just saying that I enjoy it better because that's just where I was from. Like I just fuck with. I like some of the cool until he started rapping about jeans on a song with Jay-Z, but it's just what it is.
That verse was fire. We gonna get to it.
That album might break me.
So it seems
Food and liquor might break me.
That's gonna be your Carter 4.
That's gonna be my Carter 4.
Hey man, we putting that in the rotation. It's coming soon.
Hey man, he say she say classic, man.
Food and liquor might break me. Okay, that's gonna be that's.
Wait, we have a single tier to he say she say.
I might walk off set on that one. But let's get back to By the Way. This nigga said, Mark, how you feel about what he said? I don't trust you bumbleclots. You know what? I keep them shotters with me. How you feel about that?
Why are you asking me?
No, please. Let's talk about this for a second because I was going to talk about this like the last album. He has like the 102. He has this whole thing where he doesn't rhyme, like, back-to-back bars. Like it's a style for a minute on 102.
Yeah.
And then Recession, he's Bodman Jeezy. He's on this whole, I'll see you later. He has that whole accent at the end of his verses. So I do want to ask, Mark, how did you feel about that too?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's Bodman Jeezy on this album.
I mean, I didn't really. I don't think anybody was doing appropriation type. Oh god, I don't think they were. I don't think they were ranting in the clubs in the dance halls about Jeezy appropriating in 2008.
How they ride on Drake for being Bodman Mandem Drake, but not on Jeezy? He was the first nigga that was doing it, appropriating culture.
Hey man,
you're from fucking you're from
Macon.
Alabama.
Macon. Oh, was he from Alabama?
Mactown.
Yeah, he from the Mactown.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one of the craziest tapes I've ever heard. It was like a dancehall tape, and Tony Matterhorn was the DJ at the time. And it was like 2000, it was like around 2010. And he was so pissed because all the dancehall artists, it was starting to get to that point that rap was like really starting to influence other countries. And he was like, man, and granted, Jamaica has been influenced by rap for forever. Decades, literally. Yeah. And he's like, man, everybody wants to be Weezy right now. Weezy eats pussy. We can't be Weezy. I was like, what? Is this how serious it is right now?
Bro, they do not like that shit.
They do not.
That's why that's why I'm sure Cali be getting them Jamaican niggas on the tracks for free. Cause he don't do that shit. One more line.
I seen Sizzler was red hot. He took that Khaled plaque and broke the shit in the middle of the street.
Yeah. He walked it back though. He walked it back.
You walked it back?
It's over.
He walked it back. I remember that.
Hey, he didn't do it to Cam. Think about it. Cam handled his business.
Hey, we need to do a throwblacks. We need to do a throwblacks on that versus, and just break it down. Wow. We just need to break down the game tape, point by point. I've never been so embarrassed. I ripped my goddamn camera, my fucking Diplomat's tee off.
Oh my god!
I was in the living room with no shirt on. I was so bad.
I'm still in pain. I don't think I could do it. There's only one world where New York by Ja Rule beat Welcome to New York City, and it was that night.
Yeah.
I was steaming hot. I was like raging hot that night.
All right, okay, one more line from this. And this is where Jeezy kind of understands and on this song or not he understands, but he kind of proves that he gets the gravity of what he does. He says, I turned a brick into a clothing line, a Boost commercial, and they still talking YOLA, so who's commercial? It's because that was one of the complaints after 102. You're teaming with R. Kelly, my nigga. You're teaming with Keisha Cole. Mm-hmm. You're going mainstream. That's why he put out 3 fucking tapes right after that.
But it's also just like you only have one thing to rap about. That was another thing. And it's like, look at how far it's gotten me. It's got me a Boost Mobile commercial. Where they at? The whole city behind me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic commercial.
Listening back to this, hearing him not necessarily be like a little bit sensitive about it, but he was actually really hurt by a lot of these things. And at the time, like 2007, 2008, I don't really think I felt that because so many people, at least down here, loved Jeezy in that 2007 time. We talked about USDA coming out in 2007, but he has plenty of classic remixes. They know it's 2007. Yeah. You play that, you're getting loved that damn near anywhere in the country.
Honestly, it was all the New York bias because you had, I mean, around that time was the hip hop is dead conversation. Yep. You had all, you know, just the, I can't even call it conscious rappers. It's just a real rap. It's like we got too much of the Southern rap going on. And they talk about is drugs, and it's like
and pussy.
Yeah.
And thank you to Jeezy for speaking up for that. He was the one nigga that went on radio and said, "Does Nas bust his gun?"
My Nas shirt on right now. It's literally why I wore my shirt.
But listen, I mean, I think you start to learn here, Mark, to your point, that Jeezy does get kind of annoyed about a lot of shit. Like he's an artist that he truthfully, I think him and 2 Chainz are like two of the two guys that like they act like they really be cool about a lot of shit, but the shit be bothering them, bro. It be coming out at the weirdest times though. Yeah, like 2 Chainz shit came out at the verses too. I hate to go back to verses, but the 2 Chainz shit came out like, oh, another Drake song. Wow, like he was like,
nah, he was like, man, this shit cheating. I don't got a Jay-Z verse.
Oh yeah, Jay-Z.
Like, come on, Chainz. You don't gotta do that.
He was like, another Jay-Z record. Wow, y'all see this? See what this nigga's doing? Like, but he was very much bothered by that narrative, and he sought to break that on this album. And you get to the next song, Crazy World, that had a good video. That was a serious video.
Yep. Like, very serious video.
That was his Runaway Love.
Buzzworthy clip right there.
Yeah, that was buzzworthy clip. This is where the album starts getting into concept. It's like, all right, I gave you niggas 3 songs in a row. Let's get to the actual theme of this. I really ain't buying all the bullshit that they selling me when the government throwing more curves than the letter C. I said the letter C, I guess that's for correctional. They try and box me in, sit me still like a vegetable. Come on. He's rapping, y'all. One of the best rapped albums of the year, I must say. But he's talking about a lot of the prison population and the prison industrial system. He's talking about Bush, of course, on this. He's talking about the recession. He's talking about how the drug game has gotten worse too. So the people that actually do the illegal things that they have to do in order to feed their families are going through all of this. I think this really encapsulates everything that he wanted to say on this song. I like Crazy World. My only issue is it kind of breaks up the flow of the album where it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it leaned. Yeah, I think it flowed. For me, it was like, that was the first record or the second, at least, besides the intro. I was like, okay, this is a concept album. Like, even the way he ends his verses, going back to In the Crazy World, shit he's talking about. I think it's just like, yo, like, and to your earlier point about like breaking up the 101, 102, 103 continuation. That's why this just came at this moment. Yeah. This was like not a part of the trilogy. This was just like, yo, this is for the moment concept. But yeah, no, I love this record. This is one of my favorites on here too, for sure.
I want a new Bentley and my auntie need a kidney. And if I let her pass, her children will forgive me.
Hell of a line.
Hell of a line. That's up there with the Rick Ross when he was in Africa looking at his watch and seeing the kid starve. Like, damn. It's one of them lines. Next song, What They Want. I'll be real. First skip for me.
First skip? Oh no.
If it ain't nothing, then it gotta be something.
How is that a skip?
First skip for me, man. Like, to your point, Josh, the punchlines are not great.
No, this is, man, every verse was about a sports. The first one was the basketball shit. Yeah, like that. Talking reckless on my line, that's a technical foul. He was going crazy on that shit.
That's my first skip. I felt like it. I was like, when I listen to the albums for ThrowBLKs, I listened to them all the way through the first time. Then the second time, I'm like, which ones will I skip, on subsequent listens to this? What They Want, second, third, fourth, I was like, because Crazy World already brings you down from the pump of your fist, like, yeah, nigga. Then you're like,
this bring you back up.
It don't really bring me back up. It's just him trying to be. It's him trying to be
calm balance.
It's him trying to be Murder Mook. Like,
no, I can't agree. Like, honestly, I was like, okay, Jeezy, real rapping Jeezy right here. Like, literally the way he broke down every verse, he like actually wrote this shit down. Got like he had a pen in the pad and was like, all right, first verse basketball, second verse football.
My dog hit me up. He said he got a lick, got a bad jump shot, so he might shoot a brick. Talking reckless on my line.
That's a technical foul.
Don't know what the fuck you talking. I'm hanging up right now.
Man.
It's just, I just think the song more comedic than actual.
No, it's just like him. I can't say storytelling, but it was like, yo, like I'm about to give y'all metaphors. Y'all say I'm not a rapper. Y'all say hip hop is dead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all metaphors, but all drug references. And it's like I'm gonna do me, but still do y'all. I really respected this record. This is one of my favorites for sure.
Say touchdown, then he need a touchdown. Second time he called today, think he going all the way.
36-yard line. We're going for the first down. 36 O's. Come on, man.
Josh said, y'all listening or y'all just skimming through it?
Just breezing through it, man. They just breezing through it, bro. They just breezing through it, man.
I want to know your thoughts on Amazing, produced by Drummer Boy. If you want to talk about a mood bringer down, Amazing brings the mood down way more.
I don't know. My favorite part about Amazing.
I like Amazing though.
My favorite thing about Amazing is just eyes so low that I look like Asian. Now he has like a little Asian baby.
Yeah.
A little Asian baby.
His daughter. He does.
Yeah. Beautiful kid.
You know
beautiful
what,
family.
Man? Seeing Jeezy as a dad, even though he's already a dad, and he threw his son through the depth shower.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Damn.
He threw his son through the shower door.
I'm trying to keep a straight
face. It's
like,
not funny, but goddamn.
It happens, man. You know, fathers and sons, they fight.
He's Shane McMahon, that nigga. But seeing him as like a dad with a daughter, it's cute. I've seen it. You know, it's good to see him kind of break that. But Rose Gold Audemars looking like it's Miller time is a hilarious way to start a song.
That turned everybody up in Wisconsin. That had everybody.
Miller nigga.
But you had some comments on Amazing, Mark. I'm not saying I didn't like the song. I'm just saying that it like that's when the album starts to get kind of like it starts to go down, not downhill, but like downbeat. Like the beats start getting a little bit depressing. It's a depressing album. Let me just be clear. It's very downtrodden for a lot of it.
Really? When I started to listen from Amazing up until the next 3, 4, 5 tracks, things started going right back in my mind. I was like, oh, fuck, this is that record? And I started waking up. I started hearing it again.
The streets need a nigga, so I'm in and out that vocal booth. The hoes love a nigga because I'm in and out that yellow coupe was my line back in the day.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this album was Jeezy being like, yo, I can fucking rap.
Yeah.
And, like, he's proven on every single record. He's making records, like, actual records where I think before it was just kind of like just him just doing the thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, this is him being like, yo, I'm here.
It's also cool to see Jeezy kind of rising to the occasion because you got, like I said earlier, he's standing next to Lil Wayne, T.I. If he doesn't step his game up, he's forgotten about. And there's more people coming. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross is right there. Like, he's like literally right there. You know what I mean? And, it's, and again, it's funny we keep bringing up Ross, but their careers are so parallel in so many ways. It almost was inevitable that they would beef, right? Like, just the fact that they were just so close in the same circles, vying for the same audience in a lot of ways. It was just inevitable that they were going to have issues.
Yeah, if Jeezy's Hogan, then like Ross is Savage at that point.
Yeah.
The Mecha powers had to explode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, he's not on this album, but they had been working together for a while, and they had the Jay-Z connection.
Both on Def Jam.
Both on Def Jam. Both were super close with Shakir Stewart. It just... I think at one point Ross maybe did get a bigger head than Jay-Z, but then again, and that's only a year away from this. You know what I'm saying?
And this is following Triller too. So Triller dropped early in the year. They had that classic Luxury Tax on that album with Jeezy and Wayne and Trick Daddy. So I mean, there's a little bit of competition. I mean, I was about to say earlier, this album right here is a fire cold weather album. It dropped like in the fall, winter. So it was perfect for that time of year.
It dropped right before Obama. I mean, Jeezy. And I'll say it again when we get to the song. He was aiming for the fences. He said, I'm calling the shot right now. He's going to win. And he called it in September. Next song, man. Hustler's Ambition. One of my favorite songs on the album.
Yep.
I'm not afraid to admit it. Comes from the bottom. Couldn't even see the top. Just as soon as I feel the drop, I'm whipping up every block. Come on, how could you not feel that?
That's one of the ones.
Fire. And that amazing the Hustler's Ambition like transitions, kind of fire too.
I can't deny
the scratches. Real hip hop. Telling you,
it's hip hop.
Real hip hop, man. He was going for it.
Another Drummer Boy classic, by the way. Drummer Boy.
Yep.
Put his fucking foot in his album. He really was working on
his teeth.
In his teeth.
Drummer Boy got big teeth. So I just think of just big mouth.
Now, as far as award shows, we all know how that goes. So what's all the doubt about? Because he ain't selling out, because he ain't giving up, because he don't give a fuck. He was talking to them critics right there.
And then got nominated off this album. So
exactly.
He proved his point.
Yeah, he really did. Like, this is another 3 songs he's directly answering critics. Mm-hmm. It's not all about what TM 101 and TM 102 was about. I'm utter to say at this point, when you listen to it, you're like, yo, you're kind of in the groove of this album. You're like, yo, he's really fucking spitting. He's not talking about the same shit he's talking about. Really, if he's talking about drugs on this album, he's talking about kind of the ups and downs of it. And I remember at some point a couple years ago, maybe a couple decades ago, Bun B said that there isn't enough. You know, he said what UGK did. They talked about the downside of selling drugs. We talked about the what happens on the other side of it. And he said, I feel like that's what's kind of missing from a lot of trap rap. You know, and a lot of what trap, the trap music genre is you don't get that. You don't get that from other artists. And he specifically name drops Young Jeezy and T.I. as 2 people that do. And I think like this album is, again, if he is talking about selling drugs, he's talking about the fact that it's hard to do this shit. I can't, like, I'm gonna get caught if you talking on my phone about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not motivation no more. This is what happens on the other side of it in a recession when there's eyes that are extra on us again. And this is one of the songs that kind of puts you up on that game. So
absolutely,
one of my favorite songs on the album. A+, what'd you feel about this one?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like I said, once again, like from Amazing to Hustler's Ambition, I love that transition. It just gets a little darker. We're getting to like my favorite part of the album.
Yep.
I mean, I like Who Dat, but it's about what's right after that for me.
Man.
So I love Hustler's Ambition.
Let's get to Who Dat, produced by D Rich and Shorty Red. D Rich is still around, isn't he? He does shit for Future, right?
I don't know. I don't think that's the same. If it is a D Rich doing shit for Future, I don't think it's the same D Rich. I love D Rich though. D Rich was Shorty Red's ghost producer, and he produced a lot of those records that said Shorty Red, but just never got the credit. And this time he finally got the credit.
Yeah.
But Shorty Red was like the energy guy. Mm-hmm. He's on this track, just kind of in the background, ad libs. This is one of my favorites. This is a strip club absolute classic anthem. Second verse is crazy.
Remember when Shorty Red Drifter? I'm a drifter.
Oh, yeah. Shorty Red also wrote
Sexual Eruption, for Sexual Seduction.
Yeah, he wrote that.
Yeah, that's the inspiration.
I mean, we all know Who Dat. Why you keep saying, yeah? I don't even know. I got court tomorrow. I don't even go. I don't even show. I got shit to do. Only God can judge me. Who the fuck are you? Come on, man. Also, Who Dat doesn't follow the traditional structure of a song either. It's like the core, he's like rapping literally like 6 bars, then he'll go right back to the chorus. Like that shit to me is like, like a lot of rappers kind of do that now. I think the closest that I can remember that rappers kind of do this is What's Up Mate on So Much Fun, Thug and Future, where it's not traditionally a rap song at all. Yeah. It's just them rapping bars back and forth. You said the second verse on this record, Josh.
I mean, come on, man. I don't chase no hoes. I chase money and vodka. Next time I re-up, I'm going to buy me a chopper. I ain't talking AK. I'm talking shit with propellers. Fly to the club, make my ex-bitch jealous. Like, he was talking that shit. And that's the thing about Jeezy. Like, I don't know, man. Like, his shit was so visual, too. Like, you could see it. And that was the difference between him and a lot of rappers at the time. I mean, just the difference between the real rappers and the trap rappers. It was like shit you can imagine where these other rappers are kind of going over your head and just giving you shit that just made you think too hard.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jeezy, Who Dat, one of my favorite records. One of the best records. I probably said I love this whole album. I'm probably gonna say that about every song on this album. But like Who Dat is absolutely a banger. Another trunk rattler. Like, that shit, it's one of them ones.
An update on D Rich. It looks like he's been doing some recent stuff, unless it says a different D Rich, but it does say Atlanta producer D Rich. He's been with Metro. He had a record on Heroes and Villains. Yep. And he had a record on Thug's last album.
Oh shit! I know that. That's
He's been working. Yeah, because he was young at that time. Yeah. So I think he might be our age. So okay. He's not that old. I mean, A+ mentioned it. The album does, and even shit. I mentioned it a couple of minutes ago with the Bun B thing, talking about the other side of the drug game. Don't you know This is my favorite song on the album. This is my favorite song on the album.
Wow.
Same.
This is my favorite song on the album.
This song confuses me because I don't know if that's a little bit, well, it's not dyslexia, but
it is. Don't know you.
Yeah. The title's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't you know? I'm like,
you know what it is too? That's one of those like probably a printing error, and they just like roll with it.
They left it. Something probably got mixed up when they sent it off to get pressed or something like that, and they just left it like that. It's always bothered me because I'm like, he doesn't say "don't you know."
Yeah, exactly.
you know. That's about it. But it's not like "don't you know."
Well, I mean, Jeezy always had a problem with grammar and syllables and things. Trap star, TRAP, STR. So it's like, I don't know if it was him and management. Somebody always making a mistake on one of these albums.
Yeah.
Don't you know? Produced by Midnight Black. He did some stuff with like Plies, and he did a lot of stuff with Florida artists at the time.
He did like 4 on this album too.
Yeah,
Crazy.
He did. Yeah. He grabbed a lot of songs on this album. I hear y'all talk that work shit. That's cool. Oh, he said, "I'm sorry. That's cool." But that don't mean shit. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know how you know. Listen, man. Some of my favorite Jeezy lines in this: "Call it Dave Chappelle's. He want his other half baked."
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know I like to scramble mine Waffle House style. Leave him sunny side up and let him chill for a while.
Oh wow. This
not only brings in some of the trap or die flair, but also this new rap Jeezy, I'm a super rapper flair. First verse is definitely like TM101 era vibes. Second verse, I go there, get that, go back with that. Then I flip that and send that right back. If I get 2 bands, it must be 5 stacks. So you owe 5 stacks, bring that right back. Do the math. Do the math on that one.
He was going crazy.
On this shit, bro. Also a rare Jeezy song with 3 fucking verses, by the way. Let's just be clear here.
Real rap.
Yeah.
Verse kind of State the Union address too, like off the bat. He's calling out everybody.
Why you say
he's
that?
like, all this bird talk, maybe want some Popeyes.
Yeah.
Y'all get no play off in my ride. You know what I'm saying? He opened up a whole lane for niggas. A whole bunch of, ex-trap dudes wanted to be rappers after they heard Jeezy. So he's like, yo, everybody's a trapper now, turn rapper? Okay. Cool.
Do you think that some of this was, and I don't remember if this was at the time, and I couldn't remember when I was listening to it, was some of this kind of like a response to Pimp C at the time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't say a response directly to Pimp C, but it was also like, I hear the chatter.
Yeah.
And I got to say something.
Yeah.
That's very much what a lot of this album was.
Because a lot of people were coming to Jeezy at the time. Yeah. Nas was one. Of course, they squashed it here. Pimp C, all of that. A lot of people were coming at him at the time. And this record to me feels like, let me address it. I know Jeezy said so like in so many words that he wasn't going to respond to Pimp C, which respectfully he didn't. But he absolutely did kind of hint at it. And I feel like the third verse is kind of like, yo, like, if you're going to talk about me, talk about all these other people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like get at them too. And I love this record because he's calling it out. And he's saying like the uprising of all of these rappers that came out since me is dangerous. Because y'all, like nobody fucking knows you and y'all going to get caught.
Yeah.
Y'all going to get fucking caught or killed. And I like that part about this album is that, yo, he's reckoning with what he kind of created.
Yeah. No, and I think it was, again, serious Jeezy being like, yo, like I have to say something about the environment that I've contributed to.
Yeah.
And I think, this song was one of the ones where he did it in the perfect way.
What did Pimp say? Talking about some squares. Said he got brick for 17.5. I forgot what he said on that.
No, he said, I know who was out there with their one pants leg rolled up with the backpack on.
I said, whoa, all right, man.
That's a great one.
Come on, man.
It's a great Pimp C.
Pimp was crazy. Okay.
Like, oh, shit.
Next song, my second favorite record on this album. Back to back. Rare that an album has this. Don Cannon's parents on here. He did Mr. 17.5, last album. One of my favorite songs on that album as well. Circulate. This was at the listening party review that Shaheem Reed had. It's several other reviews of this album. They all named this song as the best song of the album.
I mean, because this was the Up North song.
New York listening party, though, right? This is New York beat all day.
Yeah, the drums. Niggas stopped what they was doing.
Listen, right. The whole tri-state. And I'll be clear. My friends from Virginia, friends that I had that were from the South, from Atlanta, they don't like this song.
I like this.
They don't like. Be clear. A lot of my friends. I don't know if you can feel me on this. Plus,
I do. There was a skip for a lot of people that's from my neighborhood. I get what you're saying. Real.
This was a skip, but I mean, Circulate samples Billy Paul, I believe. Let the dollar circulate.
Yeah.
What a sample. Not much that he had to do, but bring in that loop and bring in that little chorus part at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. I'm gonna start off slow, so slow. Yeah, says so slow. They love me out in DC just like go. DC niggas love that.
Okay. And then they started doing the claps with it. I was like,
DC love that. Hey, DC niggas love that. I could call a DC nigga right now, and you bring up this song and say, "Oh, I remember that shit." Come on, man. See, they see them 87 jeans, see the logo every time I day my count 'em baby go.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all have some 87 32s?
Never had it. I always wanted it, man. I always wanted. I used to see it at Macy's. They had it like Macy's in the Beverly Center at one point. It was
expensive.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay.
It was expensive. No wonder it didn't fucking last.
8732, what it do?
It do.
My favorite part of this song is Jeezy playing ad-libs for Billy Paul.
Hands up.
See why they don't give a fuck.
I'd love to hear that live. I'd love to hear this song live.
He doesn't perform
this. He doesn't do it. No, he doesn't perform this. Yeah. See, they don't give a fuck. I'm like, that's not what he said, yo.
Second verse of this is definitely Recession verse.
Yes,
talks about looking at the empty safe.
Yeah,
and just and that's the thing, man. Like he leaned into it. He leaned into it and showed like the perspective of like a drug dealer who's lost it all, or who's losing it all, like going through this recession and not being able to sell work and looking around like, what the fuck am I gonna do next?
He says a line about praying. He says, make sure you pray tonight. You might send me a gift, might send you a ride, might send you a lift, might send you a roll, might send you a script, might send you a bag, might send you a plug, might send you some things, might send you some love. He's talking to us.
Don't give you the next to get flexed.
Yeah, exactly. He's talking to us. He was talking to people that was going through it. There was no other rapper. Be clear, anyone that has never, and I know we have a lot of people listen, to this that are younger or may not remember it. He's talking to us. No other rapper was talking about the recession at this time.
Hell no.
Nobody was talking about it. They was acting like it wasn't happening.
Hell no. And third verse, he gets more into it. Like, I really love Jeezy because, to your point, he kept it real.
Yeah.
Like, he kept it real. It was all good a week ago. Young the Big Tipper.
Yeah. Like, Lord knows I can't wait for this recession to be over.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Circulate. Let the dollar circulate. I would say that if there's any song to listen to off this album, is this one. It encapsulates every single theme of the album. He does it several times here. I think he does it best here. Like, I think having Don't You Know or Don't You Know. I was about to say the song wrong. It's having Don't You Know, then this, back to back, and then the songs before that. It's a run. This is like the run of the album where it's just like no fucking skips. Because we gonna get to some shit after this. What is y'all's thoughts on wordplay?
This is another one of those hip hop records.
The hip hop records.
This is one of them ones he did for this. He followed this up. He followed this behind Circulate for a reason.
He
said the little vocal sample.
Yep. Good flip.
I want studio footage of wordplay. I want to say, we gonna call this wordplay, nigga. Nas talking about me, nigga. Wordplay. Call this shit.
What a singer bitch. I need a singer bitch. Go find me a singer bitch, man. You know them New York niggas be having singing. Where Yummy Bingham at? Bring Yummy Bingham over here.
Which one they got at Def Jam? Chrisette Michelle? Bring that
bitch, man. What Lil Mo at? She still rapping, nigga.
Man, my favorite part about this and the most relatable shit about this song is verse 2. Beginning of verse 2.
Yeah.
I must have read on all hip hop. Young killed hip hop.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, he on all hip hop just like me. I was like, oh shit. Young Jeezy on the same internet. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
It's something to say though, because the shit was loud online. It might not have been, not many people might have been wanting to speak up on it in person or on radio, but online you would just see slander after anonymous slander after anonymous slander. And clearly you got to him.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Nas. I feel like more than any record, this was the Nas response. This was the Pimp C response. Mm-hmm. He had a lot to say on this verse or this record.
I mean, he said, "Got everybody follow him. Do I make me a leader? Does that mean he need to get indicted just to make you a believer? If that's the case, then I really do apologize. That I memorized, that I fantasized, that I visualized, that I strategized." He's like, "Fuck you, see you bitch ass nigga." Like, he was mad. He is really mad on this album. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I know it's hard to say if you never listened to a Young Jeezy project. I'm gonna probably give you Trap or Die, right? I would honestly give somebody this album too. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's a good primer because this is honestly the template for who Young Jeezy becomes after this album. Like all the albums he tried after this, like Church in These Streets and Recession, Seen It All, they're more made in this image than 101.
Absolutely.
You know?
This is probably, I feel like this is the album he's most proud about.
Yeah.
Like even just looking back now, just how he kind of like leaned into the 15th anniversary. He like posted all the videos and like, right now, if you look on the Spotify page, this is like the playlist.
Yeah, it has a playlist.
Just 15 years.
He gave it a canvas too. I was like, none of his other albums have. Well, actually, no. TM101 has a canvas.
Oh, okay.
I don't think TM102 has a canvas though. But like, he might not be proud of that one. But this one has a canvas. Like, he really loves this album. Yeah. And then from there,
let's get into the third verse before we leave this song. Okay. Because this is a spoken word verse. Fly, Jeezy was like, you gonna take me serious, goddammit. I'm gonna slow it down. I'm literally gonna give y'all poetry, goddammit. I'm hip hop.
But I gotta say, man, I think he went too far.
I don't know.
I think he went too far.
You ever seen a blue rose caught in the black grass? And they go broke, invest in the black mass. Like, come on. He was saying, I'm a believer, man. He was talking that shit. Oh my god. He was talking that shit.
Oh my god. Hey, I think he went too far. I think he went. I think Don't You Know, Circulate. That's where he was really trying to. I would have thought he was Brooklyn Jeezy. He really wanted them, the students of hip hop organization. He wanted them to. He wanted them to be part of this shit.
No, I mean, it's just. I mean, you gotta think about it. He's on Def Jam.
Yeah.
He's in New York a lot. He's fucking with all these New York rappers. He's hearing the chatter.
But I felt like Jeezy could rap already. That's my whole thing. I think that's where I come from.
Yeah, you came from that, but also you got but you gotta understand. T.I. wasn't screaming King of the South for nothing.
Right.
Everybody from the South was like demanding their respect at that time.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Even Wayne coming up behind them, demanding their respect, and like it was only a few that respected them. You had like the Dipsets but you know, the overall consensus was like, yo, these niggas ain't real rappers. This is a trend. Right. Southern shit about to be gone.
Yeah.
Right. So he had to like put his stake in the ground and really let them know like this is not a trend. I can really do what y'all do and what I do, and this was the example of that.
Yeah. Wordplay. I dig it.
Great record, man.
You dig it, MC? You dug it?
Yeah. This is where I would say the hugest. I would say this is where I was amazed the most. From amazing, no double Andre there. From amazing all the way down to Wordplay, because respectfully, Vacation is my first skip.
Thank you. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Stressed up.
Incredibles.
So tired. My days long.
Everyone was using that sound.
Gotta move on.
The Runners, the Incredibles. It was a lot of.
Hey man,
there's a lot of thus.
I'll never skip this record because he shouts out my city.
Oh god,
I'm smoking Inglewood. I'm feeling hella good. Like, yes, Jeezy, you see me.
I'm going to the bluff where it's rough. See if I can pick me up enough. That's not a vacation, brother.
It's not a vacation. And that was my thing about this record too. It was more wordplay, more metaphors. Going to Decatur where it's greater.
Yeah.
See if I could pick me up some paper. Like he was getting off. He was getting off.
Like the big ode to Atlanta that is just like, all right, it's not for me. Obviously, it's a real hometown record. If I was from Atlanta, I'd be like, I'm never skipping Vacation.
Going to College Park where it's dark. See if I could get me off some hard.
Some hard.
Like, what? Jeezy? Come on, man. Not after this. Second skip for me, bro.
I mean, and I think it leaned into the whole recession. I need a vacation. We all need a vacation at the time.
You don't skip nothing off this? We're going to find this skip.
I skip some shit. We're going to get to it.
All right. We get to
But it's a short skip.
Go ahead. That's a short skip.
Go ahead.
We get into the comedy here.
Oh, man. This is...
Everything.
I love this song.
I love this song.
Featuring Boosie.
Everything is not that bad.
Anthony Hamilton
has one of my favorite bars ever in life across any record, any album. Lil Boosie. Whole click iPhones. Nigga, get your shine on. You know how nigga having an iPhone at that time? Nigga, what?
And then having that was the 3G.
Yes.
We was on the 3G at that point. That was $600.
Hey, man.
Whole click had them.
Whole click iPhone, nigga, get your shine on.
Listen, man, I don't hate everything. Okay, I love everything. But Anthony Hamilton, did he have to sing this hard on this track?
Oh man,
this nigga was going crazy. Everything. I don't know.
Gave him a little bridge and everything. He was like, take him to church.
Yeah. The bridge threw me off. I was like, all right, it's enough that he's on the hook.
Put it all on the line too? For your baby.
Put what on the line?
Everything.
Put what on the line, bro? Like, yo, one of the funniest songs on the album. Not in a bad way, but it's fucking hilarious. I did not know Jeezy loved Anthony Hamilton that much. Yeah, this nigga loves him for Anthony Hamilton. He references him later on in the album. Like, goddamn. I'm going out the same way I came in, harder than the motherfucker real street niggas. I ain't nothing like these other suckers. Nah. Come on.
How much the club costs? I might buy that motherfucker. How the feds park right across this motherfucker. You know the name, bitch.
This is prime Jeezy shit talk on this song. Yeah. And then grabbing Boosie. It's so crazy how different Boosie rap now from him. He sounds so much younger back then than he does now. I think the voice was more pronounced. Maybe it's just because of the amount of blunts he smokes every day.
Diabetes getting to him.
Yeah, like that might be it. But it felt good to hear old Boosie, man. That was, if you want to talk about somebody that you could always count on a reaction whenever he dropped a song.
Man,
back in the day, that was the guy. Boosie was a major guy out here too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Boosie was huge in LA. Yeah, like Boosie could do an LA show and sells that shit out instantly.
That shit's crazy.
He got records, like real records, and my affinity for Boosie goes deep because like I had family in Baton Rouge, and
I was about to say.
Yeah, and like
Louisiana LA connection is real, man.
I got family there, and I will never forget my brother came back one summer from Baton Rouge with Youngest of the Camp.
Oh shit!
Boosie's first album.
That's crazy,
man. I remember the CD. I'll never forget him on the cover, look behind some train tracks, and bruh, he was just talking that shit. And I'm like, oh, the voice was so infectious, and then like it just was fandom from there. So I've always been a Boosie fan.
And I guess for the next song, let's take it there. We're taking it there.
This is my first skip. I can't front.
It's a Fat Boy. Yeah. They took off the Fat Boy drop on this. He produced this record featuring Trey Songz. This was at the moment where you kind of didn't need Trey Songz on everything anymore. Like he was kind of established at that point.
Yeah.
The chorus is kind of bad. This seems like we're getting to the end of the album. Let's throw the joints on there that was just the extra out the 80 songs you recorded. I don't got much to say about this one. It's one for the ladies, which this album has very few of. One for the lady songs. There's not.
I'm about to put the Mac down. It was like, and Jeezy verse wasn't terrible, but this song is just it was literally the one for the ladies.
And there at the end, I'm like, all right, man, we could have just dropped it, just cold turkey. We have to do this part of it. Next up, Don't Do It, which this song to me feels like. Yeah. It could have been on a different album.
I love Don't Do It.
I love this song.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
The sing. Hey, bro, this is one of the ones.
It could have been earlier in the album.
It could have been behind
wordplay, circulate section. Wordplay. Yeah, exactly.
It should have been over there. Whoever sequenced this final third was at sleep at the wheel a little bit. I feel like tired. There was like, I mean, this is a almost 20 song album, 21, 22 on the bonus records, but. I like this. Again, it's telling you the dark side of the game. You got another. What a singing bitches at, man. Give me another one of the bitches.
But that was both. But the singing shit was the signifier of a serious album. You gotta think at the time, like everybody had the singers on their shit. That was the thing.
Hey, these are some of his longest verses also on the album. I think the first verse is like a solid 24 to 32, I want to say. He's rapping heavy on this. I just think that you're starting to get a little, I think we were used to like shorter song like albums at this point. Like albums used to be a little bit longer. I'm getting kind of fatigued at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting kind of fatigued at this point.
You checking your watch?
I'm still rolling, but I just love this album so much.
I love the album too. I love this song. I feel like if I started the album with this song and then went back, I would be a lot less tired. But I feel like again, like maybe this broke up the album in some way. But it's like you go from everything to taking it there to this. It's just like, whew, all right, how are we ending this one? Where are we going with this one? And then from there you get to Put On. We talked about Put On, of course, What do you think the strategy was? And of course, streaming wasn't big at this time. What do you think the strategy is of putting this all the way at the tail end of the album? Is it because the song had been out for so long already, or it just like fuck it?
I mean, I think he thought it was cohesive because if you look at the song, if you look at "Don't Do It" in the verse here, it's a serious verse. He's talking about J. I think he's talking about J-Ball in that verse, that first verse. Yeah. Then you got Kanye come with Put On, and it's like talking about his mom and just like everything that he's going through. So I think he was just like, this is the moment to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And Put On for how as up-tempo as it is, it's not really a up-tempo record like that. It's still kind of still a little slower. So I think he just thought it was cohesive.
I think today, if you have a record like Put On, it's the first song on the album.
But that's just because people are playing the game. I think when you're listening to an album, that's like blowing your load early.
Yeah.
Like who would do that? But nowadays, you just playing the algorithm game, and you're like, I need people to listen right now. So that's the thinking.
Yeah, I think I remember Kanye saying something like that. He was like, man, if I knew how y'all niggas was doing it, I would have put Blood on the Leaves as the intro. I was like, it really doesn't need to be the intro, Kanye. I mean, it kind of sits nice where it's at.
Oh my God. Yeezus ThrowBLKs one day? That's another one that'll make me walk out the set. That's
why?
That's one that'll break me. I have a classic tweet for that one.
Do you?
No context. Yeezus sucks. Yeezus sucks. No context.
That's what it said?
Yeah.
That's what it said?
No context. Yeezus sucks. I had said nothing else, and I never talked about that album again.
That's when he lost his mind, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Yeezus ThrowBLKs. That might be one. All right. Trying to figure that fucking album out is going to be one. After this, Get a Lot. I got a lot of that.
Hands in the air.
That's another kind of dyslexic kind of, because they don't really say, he says got a lot of that, not get a lot. It's another one of them lost in translation album song titles. You're not feeling fatigue here? You're not feeling fatigue here, Josh?
I mean, it's one of those hooks you can chant. So I was like, I'm rolling. You cut me in. You got me. Crowd response, call and response shit. I'm just rolling with it.
And
it was a song I played in 2008, but I can't imagine myself just listening to Get a Lot right now.
I can't, bro. I can't. And then finally, The Business. Man, where's The Business at now?
Mm-hmm.
Do they got their own business? They got a black business? Who knows?
They still free girl money? I don't know.
My president, Jeezy featuring Nas. This was a big deal. Let's just be clear. It was rumored for a long time on the internet and internet circles that Jeezy had a huge feature for this record. It was it was kept a secret until literally like the last minute. I think he beat the leaks and he put it out on USDA today on the website. It featured Nas. They had words together. Jeezy mentioned that they reached out and they had a conversation and they squashed their little issue, whatever it was about. Which again, Nas was in a totally different mindset at that point. He had already squashed beef with Jay-Z. It was actually a weird thing that he even called out Jeezy like that at that time, but I think it was well before Worlds Collide. I think that he actually said that comment about Jeezy. I could be wrong though. Classic song. I listened to it again. It is very much a time capsule though. Just everything he's talking about here is very much a time capsule. I mean, just from the chorus, I mean, it just, I don't know if that'll ever happen again. Just having a black president.
I mean, it'll probably happen again. I mean, come on, the world is black, but I don't listen to the song.
You don't?
At all. This is automatic skip.
That's your skip?
This is very easily.
Is it because of its of the moment status?
Of the moment, and just like, my president is black. That's just such a like it just wasn't really a good song.
He don't want to hear Nas say she's not a politician, she's a politician.
He's a politician.
That show you that Nas didn't know. Nas was kind of uneasy on these Southern records. It took him a while.
Yeah.
It took him a while to get comfortable on these records. I still feel like he wasn't comfortable doing this.
I was going to say that. I still feel like Nas really ain't that comfortable out of his element.
Yeah.
I think you get him on some features and he's just like, just getting on the beat.
Was he comfortable with A$AP Ferg?
Come on, man.
Oh, not one song?
I feel like he was pretty comfortable doing Spicy.
I don't even listen to that shit.
And mind you, Nas is getting ready in a couple of months to drop an album called Nigger, so he was in a much different mindset.
That's true.
With the whips on the back, they tried to listen.
The end.
The slave and the master.
Yeah, with another DJ Tune beat at that.
The slave and the master.
Be the slave and the master, brother.
Hey,
I never really liked My President a lot because I really didn't like, especially at the time too, really didn't like the Pimp C line. I was like, Jeezy, Pimp C's dead, bro. He's been dead for at least like 6-7 months. He can't respond to any of this. For you to say, Pimp, I'm like, I know how you be. I'm forgiving you. I'm like, Huh? He's dead.
Yeah. Jeezy always had, read the Pimp C book. I would advise anybody to read that shit. The weirdness of that relationship is kind of talked about. It kind of frames the relationship between Bun and Pimp at that time a lot differently as well.
And that's why I think the real beef just comes from Pimp C being locked up and being a little jealous of what Bun was doing.
Yeah,
that's what I've gathered from the whole situation.
And Pimp C had mental health issues.
Yeah, but I won't even go as far as to say it's mental health issues. I think it was just like a little jealousy, a little lashing out, and just a little shit talking.
Yeah,
that might have went too far.
And they should have probably talked before he passed away. I think that's really what it is. I think they really should have squashed it before he left. Favorite line from this. By my nephews and nieces, I will email Jesus, tell him forward to Moses, it's CC Allah!
CC Allah.
Man, I've listened to this song for so long. I don't even remember.
Is that a Sabu point to the sky plus?
CC Allah! Why the point to the sky is crazy, okay? We're leaving that in the video version of this. Why'd you point to the sky? What does it mean?
Sabu.
Well, no, that's not Sabu.
That email on up.
That's not Sabu. That means something else. Does anyone remember that Nas came on this song offbeat as fuck? And they needed to move
Black History.
They needed to move his waveform a little bit to the left.
Oh man.
Our history, Black history, no president, everything shit to be.
They sliding the wave over. That's hilarious.
He don't catch the beat till about bar 10.
Oh man.
And by then it's too late. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is to me a good season finale, in my opinion, to this era of Black history. You know what I'm saying? Like this song capped off a new era for us. I mean, I think about, and this is besides the album, I think about from where we were from 08 all the way on to 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people say like, oh, it wasn't all good. Like, to us in that moment, it was all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was really no worry. You know, like there was no worry. There was no, I mean, obviously we had issues. There, everybody has their issues and shit like that, but it was happy. You know what I'm saying? It was the one time I can remember niggas was up. We were up at that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was graduating high school, so I was ecstatic. But I also saw the looming shit that's going on in the world, and it was like, this is the real world. And it's like, how are you?
We were in a bubble.
Yeah, and it was interesting to just step into that and have this album to step into that with.
Yeah, I
think it definitely inspired me, at least. I don't know if I could say a generation, but it definitely made me a little more conscious of what was going on in the world.
Yeah,
just a little more prepared.
Absolutely. No, you're right. Like, again, we didn't think that this wasn't sustainable forever.
Yeah.
We didn't think about what was happening after the second term. You know what I'm saying? We had this song, and then we had this moment, we had this run, and after that it was like we kind of woke up again and was like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? And in some moments I think back to this album and what happens after that last song ends and being hopeful. You know what I'm saying? Not to say we're not hopeful, even though I mean it's really hard to be hopeful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times these days, but like, this was a great ending to, I think, a moment in music, and then it leads us into that Kanye era. That other Kanye era that was coming, the Lil Wayne era that was looming as well.
I saw
Drake, a year away.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's a year away, and the recession kind of led us into that. And so, I'm giving it the stamp of approval, man. This is a classic album.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Through and through. Mark,
I'm fixing the B to an A. I can only do one album at S tier. I'm sorry. It's still going to be 101.
I'm with you on that. That's A tier for me.
This is an A tier album. Okay. I really do want to put it as S tier just based off the fact that he put a bonus track version out and actually took Air Forces 2 and made it a bonus track.
Yep.
Yeah.
It should make it an S tier album, but I can only do one album and it's got to be 101. But I do appreciate the nod to Trappin' Ain't Dead and putting Air Forces 2 on this album, along with the Put On remix.
That was a retroactive one because I think Air Forces 2
later.
Yeah, Air Forces 2 came out after this album came out.
Because I just peeped. I was like, damn. I was like, at first I just looked and I was like, what the fuck is Done It All?
Yeah.
Because I just know it's Air Forces 2. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, this is Air Forces 2. That's one of my favorite Jeezy songs.
Yeah.
At the show, I literally told him, I was like, man, Air Forces 2 is one of my favorite songs. And then he went and performed it.
And he probably gets that a lot.
Yeah, no,
they put it on there.
Well, I mean, the crowd kind of no-sold it, honestly.
They did?
I gotta show you the footage. I mean, they didn't really. They fuck with it, but it wasn't like how the other records were.
They weren't feeling the saxophone.
Yeah, like it's just one of them records.
Classic
like
sax at the end.
He only did the first verse.
Okay.
Yeah, he only did like the hook first verse.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, wait, Trappin' Ain't Dead came out in 09.
Yeah, like beginning of 09 almost.
They put this on a 07 album, but I was like, I guess that was to get people to come back and listen to Recession again on the 15th anniversary. But Recession, where do you land on it? Plus, still a classic, still up there.
A-tier album for me. I think this is like the high point for not only Jeezy in 2008, but for Lil Wayne and T.I. as well. They kind of all came up together. And of course, Wayne delivered Carter 3 that year. T.I. had his highest selling album with Paper Trail before he went in. And Jeezy delivered, I think, which is critically his best album front to back in the Recession. So it's like the high watermark for all three before, like you said, we go into this new era, this Obama era where we get all the young rappers with Drake and everybody else who follows up. So yeah, it's like it's a watershed moment for me. I got to give it an A tier for sure.
I mean, after this, young Jeezy would take a long break until we get to TM 103. We're not going to talk about that here, but we talked about it on Blackprint Radio. I will say it gets like a roller coaster for him after this. There's some unnecessary beefs. I mean, people have pretty much given up on the guy.
I checked out.
Yeah,
personally,
a lot of people checked out. Yeah, I agree. I think people had crossed over to Rick Ross literally 3 years after this, and I think a lot of people never looked back. I think it was tough to get back into Jeezy records, and Ross just had that character where he didn't give a fuck, where Jeezy had at that time and at that point took himself so seriously. Yep. That it was just hard to get into him after that.
Yeah, and I think Jeezy just wasn't really built for the social media era, which started to really be a factor in like whoever the best rapper was at the time. You had to play into that. And Jeezy just never really played that game really well. Just felt a little stiff. He came from the old era where it's like, I don't really say too much on the internet. And when I do, I just even when he tried to lean into the internet stuff, it was
when he
terrible.
was in the store, was
dancing and shit. That was during the pandemic though. That was when everybody was just doing weird shit. I can't even be that mad. But that shit was terrible.
Something like that.
What was the song, bro?
I don't remember the song. It was like some crazy wireless company. It was like Figures or some wild shit.
I was like, Jeezy, yeah, you're finished, brother. Yeah. But hey, at least we get this. The first 3 albums, a moment. I'm glad we got to do this, and I'm glad we all got to be here to talk about this album. A+, thanks for coming through.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Recut gems on the Blackprint Network. Hey, man, we're moving. So much content coming out. Thank you guys for being here. MC, you're always here, but I'm talking to you like you're not always here. But
of course,
make sure you check us out on Blackprint Radio every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on AMP Radio. We play all types of stuff. We do trivia. We're doing all types of shit every single
week. Hilarious.
Last 2 episodes, some of our highest viewed, our highest just attended.
Had so much fun.
Yeah, having a lot of fun with the fans.
Yeah, like we're having so much fun with the listeners, and if you haven't joined us yet, make sure you join in with us there. Make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. You get to see the video version of this, get clips from all of our episodes. You can listen to them in the long form sense. The Blackprint main episode. I think I might be here. I might be gone for one of these. I don't know when this is coming out, but thank you guys for being here. For A+, for Josh Pease, for MC, I'm Justin. I'll see you guys later. Peace.